Today, I want to talk about building and sustaining perseverance. It can contribute to your long term success. I have 5 tips to help you. The first one is set clear and achievable goals. This kind of goes along with my whole series on setting achievable goals, creating healthy habits, and perseverance. Setting achievable goals will help you if you break down your goals into sustainable segments so that when you achieve them, you will feel this sense of accomplishment and encouragement to keep going because it can get very discouraging if you set these lofty goals and you don't achieve them. It feels overwhelming and it's easier just to want to give up. So let's make sure that you set achieving goals. And if you want more on that, then go ahead and watch my video. I'll link it to this one, and it's on establishing healthy, sustainable goals. Cultivating a growth mindset, embrace challenges as opportunities instead of failures. This is so important. Sometimes people feel like they have to be a perfectionist. Perfectionism is not something that is attainable by any human being on this planet. Letting that go and giving yourself permission to fail if that's what happens. It's okay, but learn from it. Learning from it is the key to success. And that is such a valuable takeaway from this video. It's okay to fail. It's okay to achieve. And it's okay to be successful. A lot of people suffer from imposter syndrome. Oh, I can't do that. Or why should this be me? Why not? If anybody has achieved your goal, then right there, it's achievable. I want to be a New York Times bestselling author. I want to sell a lot of books. I want to get my books in the hands of authors, readers, anybody who enjoys reading and escaping their life for a little while and kind of experiencing a character's growth and arc and just enjoying a story so that they can kind of escape their reality for a little while and they can go to the beach or they can do some of the things that my characters in my books achieve. They always have goals. There's always a character arc. They don't start the book out automatically achieving everything because then there would be no story. They're always starting out with this messed up, like false sense of who they are, their false sense of ego. And then they have these goals that they want to achieve, or something comes into the story and changes the world and gives them an opportunity. And then they have a choice. Do I want to take this opportunity or do I not want to take this opportunity? It's the same thing in life. We get opportunities, and sometimes people are too afraid to take that chance, that opportunity. Take it, see what happens, see where it goes. You can always change your mind later. By the time that my stories develop, they go through these trials and ups and downs. It's not perfect. They don't just learn everything easily. Well, neither we as people. We never learn easily. Otherwise, everybody would be doing this. So, if you can have the mindset that instead of failing at something or being a failure or I can't do this. If you fail, just turn it around and say, gosh, what can I learn from this? Or what can I learn from other people? Go on YouTube and study what other people are doing. Read other books and see how authors are conducting their character arcs from beginning to end. Learn. We're all here. We're like this collective being, this collective universe of souls that we're all one in reality, and we are all here to learn from each other. We're not here to be jealous. There's no jealousy, there's no competition. We just are all showing up the way that we can and doing the best that we can do. We are meant to learn from other people. And when you start viewing things like that, it takes some of that fright away from trying new things because you have let go of feeling like you have to be perfect and that you have to succeed the very first time. It's okay. And I just think that that's such an awesome mindset because it just makes people braver than they would be if they had this fear filled mindset of failure. It helps if you develop a support system. I've said this in some of my other videos. Make sure that if you are sharing your goals and your dreams, make sure that the person is safe because so many times people will shoot you down. Oh, you can't do that. Who do you think you are to write a book? Who do you think you are to hit the New York Times bestseller list? Why you? You don't have what it takes. Yes, I do. So do you. You have whatever it takes to be whatever you want to be. I always tell my children that you can be anything in the world if you put your mind to it and you take the time to learn. There is definitely always a learning curve. At least in my experience, nothing has come like super easy. Every single thing I've ever wanted, it just seems like there's this learning curve, and I have to study, I have to learn, I have to watch other people, I have to try it. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I achieve, and it's just this kind of cycle that is normal part of life. If you tell somebody about your dreams, make sure that they're on your team, that they're a go Lori or whatever your name is kind of person. They're your cheerleader. It's hard to find people who are truly for you, that have true intentions for your success, because as you start to succeed, like my literary agent told me once, as you start to succeed, people will start naysaying on you and you'll start encountering jealousy. And I made the joke at the time. I said, "Well, I'm not experiencing that." Huh, well, the joke's on me because I wasn't big enough to achieve that. Nobody was jealous of me. But he was right. As I start to achieve my goals in my life, people become threatened by that. And it's very interesting. But instead of taking it personally, I just keep on going. And there will be times sometimes where you have to cut people out of your life. There will be other times where maybe they'll rise up and join you in your mission. Other times you just keep your goals inside you and in your planner, and you just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. And then all of a sudden people look at you and you started here and now you're here. It's amazing how that happens, but be very selective who you tell your dreams to, because they need to be yes people. They need to be on your team. Practice self compassion. Be kind to yourself. If you fail, it hurts. I have this book that I absolutely loved, and I got rejected from a publisher that I really, really wanted. I was depressed. I was situationally depressed, not clinically depressed. And I had to be kind to myself. I had to say, "Hey, Lori, it's okay. It's okay." If they don't see the value in it, then they're not the publisher for me. I need somebody on my team that's saying, "Hurrah, let's go." Because this journey is hard enough as it is. You don't need naysayers around or people who don't share that passion and that dream with you. You have to be kind to yourself. Figure out how you can even reward yourself for at least trying. I remember I took a hot bath. Maybe I went and got Chinese food or some egg drop soup. I don't know. I really don't remember. It's been a little while ago. But I do allow myself 24 to 48 hours to grieve, because I have to experience that feeling. If you just kind of shove it away, it will come back and bite you later. You have to process those thoughts. It's okay to do that. But I usually give myself a time limit so that I'm not just mourning or being unproductive. There have been times where I felt like I'm just not good enough. Maybe I should just quit writing. Well, I'm so glad I didn't, because I get a lot of positive feedback too. And my books sometimes change people's lives, or it adds value to their life and it gives them a sense of entertainment, let's say, or if they've never seen the beach before, they feel like they've been there, or they can see the wild horses that I write about in my love stories. That's important for me because I want to transport them from their everyday life to my creative. I hate to use the word fiction, but it is fiction, but it's creating a world of my vision and that color and this setting and these feelings, emotions, and transporting somebody to that kind of reality in a book is an amazing adventure. And it's a gift to me if my reader feels that way, because that's who I'm writing for. I'm writing for myself because I love to write. It's my passion, because that's important to do things that you love to do and to embrace your passion and desire. I used to go to a 9 to 5 job, and part of the job at one place I despised, and the other part of the job I loved. I couldn't just do the part that I loved. The majority of my time was spent at the job I couldn't stand. After I quit that job, I realized it just wasn't lining up to my value that I have learned to accept in myself. It's okay to love yourself. It's okay to give yourself love. It's okay to know your standards and what your worth is. If people aren't treating you that way and it doesn't match all the growth that you've been doing in your lifetime, then it might be time to step away from that job or step away from those people who are dragging you down. Try not to make that personal, because it could just be that they haven't grown and that they're kind of stuck down here. As you start to grow and do the inner work that it takes to be more high vibrational, at some point there's an imbalance, and sometimes you have to let go and free yourself, or to free them, just to be the person that you need to be. Other times you can take these people with you, or you can go with them if you're close on that vibrational scale. It's a positive aspect, or for both of you to be around each other. It's okay to also give yourself self-compassion. If you fail at something, it's okay to say, I did the best I could do. I honestly showed up every day. I honestly did the best that I knew how to do. What can I learn from this so that I can take those skills with me, so the next time I try this, I have a higher likelihood of achieving. I know the publishing world is it's a difficult career, because there is a lot of competition, and a lot of the competition is really good. It's harder to get an agent sometimes than it is a publisher, and it takes perseverance to show up every single day with failure around you and failure in your inbox, and people saying, no, thank you, or this feeling of rejection. You have to say, come on, I can do it. Other people are writing, other people have agents, other people have publishers. I can do this. If they can do it, I can do this. Perseverance takes a lot of self talk, a lot of self love, a lot of setting boundaries, even on yourself. Like, I'm going to mope about this for a day or two. And then I'm going to pull my suspenders up like a farmer, and I'm going to just keep plowing that field. It's an admirable skill. It really is. And especially in the world that we live in today, we need that, because it's easy to watch the news and it is easy to get depressed about what you're watching. But at the same time, if you have goals that you want to reach, you need to show up every day. You don't necessarily have to smile, but it makes it a whole lot easier if you do. And, sometimes you can just pat yourself on the back. Hey, I didn't feel like writing today, but here I am. Or I didn't feel like making a YouTube video today, but here I am and I'm smiling. You don't have to smile though, but it does help, because it helps lift up your mood. And having a consistent routine, showing up every day at the same time to write, showing up every day at the same time to do whatever it is that your goal is that you're trying to set, and having those achievable goals, the smaller goals. If I do this first, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. Because if you've ever gone hiking, I love to hike. And sometimes I'll stand at the bottom of the biggest hill I've ever seen in my life. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how am I ever going to climb that? I'm already hot. I'm tired. I'm thirsty. And how am I ever going to climb to the top of that? Or one time I was on this 12-mile bike ride, and about the 8-mile mark, I thought, I can do it. I can do it. I had never done it before. I thought, I can do this. I can do this, because I was still feeling pretty good. Let me tell you, by the time 10 miles rolled around, it felt like the hill was never ending, all uphill. But the funny thing was, is if I stopped to take a break and I turned around and looked behind me, it still looked like it was uphill. It was uphill both ways. That obviously isn't the way it is, but it sure looked like that on my bike when I was exhausted. And I had to have a come to Jesus moment to get me through the rest, to return to the car so that we could drive home. There was no other option but to keep going, because the car was nowhere near. It was a couple miles away. That's perseverance, and having a sunny attitude, or doing whatever it is you need to do to get through it. Sometimes I even listen to upbeat music while I'm writing. Whatever it takes, show up and do the work. And if you have a consistent routine where you perform each task that you need to complete for each segment before you can move on to the whole next segment, then make sure you're doing that every day, because it's like going to the gym. If you just work out once a month, it's going to be harder. But if you work out a couple times every week, or you take one step after another, and you're consistent in it, it does get easier, because practice makes it easier. Believe me, if you're not focused on that big mountain, or your bike ride of a couple of miles left to go, if you can change your focus to, I only have to get to this tree, or I only have to get to that landmark, and then I can stop and I can rest. And pushing yourself a little bit, taking sometimes your mind off of that big goal, because you have it written down in your planner and you know what it is. You know those small steps that you need to take to achieve them. So your only focus is accomplishing that small task for the day or the week, or however long it's going to take you to do that small task. And if you can break it down so that you can be rewarded more often because you're achieving a small task, or even broken down a little bit more into a even smaller task, then it's a big reward. Hey, I did it. I reached it. See, I knew I could do it. Then you just then focus on the next steps. And then the next steps. I'm sure you're familiar with the old adage, if you're standing at the bottom of the steps of the stairway, don't focus on the top, focus on the stair right in front of you, the stair, the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And before you know it, you will reach the top. And then you can glide down if you want to, and then achieve another one of your goals. So, in the face of adversity, just remember that perseverance is not only a quality, it's it's a superpower. Let's repeat that again. It's not just a quality, it's a superpower. You've got this. Put on your Superman cape or whatever and keep going. Ultimately, you will achieve your long-term goals if you develop perseverance, because it is a definite skill that you want to practice and that you want to learn. And I hope this helps you. I hope this motivates you, because that's why I make YouTube videos, because I want to motivate you to be the best you that you can be. So I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, good luck and keep forging forward.